Alright, so today we're going to look at a piece of gear that's kind of interesting that I found on Facebook of all places. And what it is, it's called the Everstryke match, and you probably have seen the ads and for this and thought, I wonder how that works. Well, it was free. Minus shipping and handling was like $2 or $3. So I said, you know what, I will get it, I will test it, see how it works, go from there. So this is the introduction part. Then we're going to have some footage of me testing it in really windy conditions, because they call it the Everstryke match. When used properly, this will provide the Ferrari you need on time every time. So you're supposed to fill it with lighter fluid, which I did. Return it to the striker for 5 minutes. Drag the striker downward across the ferro rod. Attach the stool. Exactly. Thought you were liking the light in a match, and that's what I did. And make sure you strike away from the canister. Yeah. So you get these at survivelife.com, Everstryke. Like I said, it was an ad on Facebook that I did. So do not overspill. It says do not strike the match without a well-saturated wick, which I've been doing. Do not burn the match for more than 10 seconds at a time. That's not very long when you're trying to light a fire. Make sure to tighten the striker. Okay, so I did all these things. And you'll see in the video here in a minute that I roll in the footage of me testing this. What I like about it is it's a ferro rod. I mean, you can use this thing and you unscrew it, and the way it works is you've got a wick, and you can see the wick is pretty wet with fluid. And then you basically, I'm not going to do it right here obviously, and then you just strike it down. Technically what it's supposed to do is light that wick on fire, basically giving you like a match that's got lighter fluid on it so it'll burn longer. I mean, it's kind of a gimmick, I think. So that's why I got it. I wanted to test it because I don't think it's going to replace a good old lighter, like a Bic lighter, or it's going to replace, a really good ferro rod, or light my fire steel or anything like that. But for $3, it was worth testing out. So go ahead and we'll roll in that footage now, and you will see how it does. Alright guys, first of all, apologize for the wind, but that's actually a good thing for this video. What we're going to do is we're going to test this little survival striker thing that you probably see ads on YouTube, Facebook for them. Basically, you put lighter fluid in there, and then just got a ferro rod, and you strike it on there. I have gloves on because I accidentally spilled a little lighter fluid on it, and I didn't want to, burn my hand. But it says it's supposed to light in any kind of conditions, wind. And it's really windy out here today, and it might even start raining, so even better, but we're just going to test it. We're just going to light, this is some leftover leaves and wood from a fire in our fire pit, so we're just going to test it out a little bit. See if it's worth the money, which was a whopping $3. And then you strike it on the ferro rod like so. Maybe. Oh, there's a spark. There it goes. Look at that. And see how windy it is? It's still going. Yeah, it's not too shabby. And you can light your kindling on fire. In this case, I'm really not trying to start a fire, so... Oh, and it blew out. So, yeah. I don't know. Kind of a gimmick, I think. It was worth trying for the it was free plus shipping and handling, so it does strike pretty good. You can see a good spark. So you could use it as a ferro rod, I guess. Just the traditional way of, not traditional, but doing it that way. But it's supposed to catch that wick on fire. And let me just dip it one more time in the fluid. Maybe that'll help. So it did light. And it stayed lit in the wind for a little bit, but it eventually went out, which I figured it would. But you know what? It's always fun to test new stuff, right? Hopefully you can even see what I'm doing. Can you look through the viewfinder and see? Okay, my wife just came outside. Oh. So we're definitely getting a spark from the ferro rod, but we're not getting that light on the wick. So yeah, it's definitely sparking it. But it's not lighting the, it's not lighting that like it's supposed to. And why am I not surprised? Oh, again, definitely throws a good spark though on the rod. So if anything, you got a nice little, you know, an extra fire striker. You know, I've done nothing to prep this, just dry leaves, and they're actually kind of damp. They've been sitting out here all winter, so you know. So if you had some, you know, cotton balls soaked in petroleum jelly or something like that, you know, some kind of thing like that, you could get a spark and get it something to light pretty fast. So it does have a ferrule rod, which is not all bad. And I may even just be out as lighter fluid. That could be it. I just poured a little too much in, so I dumped some out, and I might have been out. But I don't know. There's a demonstration for you. It was like free with shipping and handling. I'll put the website down below if you're interested in it. All right, guys. Thanks. And it's got like a little keychain attachment too. You can throw it on your keychain, so you always have some way to start a fire. It's always a good thing. All right, guys. I'll see you next time. Alright, so we're back inside, and the conclusion is that, yes, it is a gimmick like I figured it was. But, you know what? It'll still function as a ferrule rod. It throws a decent spark, as you may or may not have seen in the video, but it would work as if, you know, some sort of fire. I wouldn't rely on it to be my primary source of fire, but it would work as just as a ferrule rod. I mean, you could just pour the lighter fluid out onto your kindling and then strike it with the ferrule rod and get the spark and have it light. There's another option. So it's like a little container of lighter fluid. That's something you can use it for. It's got a little keychain deal here. You can hang it on something. I would throw it in a, you know, 72-hour pack. I'd throw it in a bug out bag, get home bag as a second or third source. Like, I would not rely on this as a primary source. But it works. I mean, it'll strike and it'll spark, and you could light something on fire with it. And like I said, you're probably better off just dumping the lighter fluid out that's in here and onto your kindling, and then you have, you know, fast light there. So that's something to think of. But it's, I mean, it's kind of a cool little container. But it's definitely not an Everstryke match, as they say it is. It's not going to strike every time. As you saw, I mean, I did get it to light, and it stayed lit for a while, and it was windy outside, and it eventually blew out, which I knew was going to happen, because there's very few things that'll withstand the wind. There is a few butane torches and stuff that will, but, you know, for something like this that claims it to be Everstryke, you know. So, anyway, and I did use the tool properly. I did fill it with 3/4 full with lighter fluid like they said, and I did strike it properly, so yeah, like I said, it's for $3. It's not like it's a rip-off. It's definitely worth it, and it's a good backup source for fire that you can throw in your bug-out bag. So you can get them from survivallife.com/Everstryke. I think the free shipping thing is on Facebook only. I'm not sure, though. You could check out their website and see. But, you know, for $3, it's definitely not a bad thing. But it's definitely, you know, kind of a gimmicky thing. I think, like I said, better off just using it as a ferrule rod and dumping out the lighter fluid. So, alright guys, that's it for that. Fun little gear review. Any questions or comments, leave them down below. Thanks.